Welcome to Wrestling Over Everything, everybody. We are a very funny wrestling podcast out of Central Valley of California. I'm Andrew. That's Dusty.
Hey.
Follow us on all this stuff. YouTube is the most important, I'd say. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Hit the notification, like the video, all that stuff. Also, we are on Spotify and Blue Sky and TikTok. We've been doing the TikTok pretty well, I think.
Yeah, we're on TikTok.
I
see
TikTok.
it.
We're ticking. We're also talking.
Yeah, up there. Yeah.
Sorry for no show last week. I know you guys were clamoring. People were mad, but I was laid out with the bad flu. I think I got monkeypox, and then Dusty was also sick. So
yeah, ate too many meatballs at the Swedish meatball place.
Too many meatballs. Dusty doesn't chew his food. They threw him down like a Pez dispenser.
I unhinged my jaw like a snake, and just that's how I get chicken nuggets in there.
Yeah, he's like a goblin shark.
An amount of chicken nuggets that you cannot fathom in one unhinged jaw bite. Yeah, I was gonna say it was gonna be our flu game, but we didn't even make the game.
No, dude.
We were on the bench, dude. They would have lost game 6 if it was us.
The funny thing is, except for like one of the days, I would have been better playing basketball than I would have talking on a podcast. So,
as long as you don't have to call out any switches on defense, you would have been fine.
Yeah, you switch me. No, dude, MJ's a wuss. So today, 2 weeks ago, our last show, we did 1999's Royal Rumble. Right? Was it 1999?
We sure did. Yeah, we dipped a toe into 1999.
And boy, was it a show! It was a show. This is one thing we missed talking about the 2026 Royal Rumble. Dusty.
Yes.
Now that we have seen both, which one would you rather rewatch?
Oh man, well, there's a lot of factors. The instinct is to say 1999. I was going to actually, we were going to do a Royal Rumble review. We decided to scrap it because it's been a couple weeks and the takes are cold. Cold as ice.
Takes cold. Yeah.
Yeah. So we can't do that. But yeah, the 90, at least because every time somebody in the 99 Rumble came out, I was like, this fucking guy.
Exactly.
And then in the 26 Royal Rumble, I was like, who is this guy? Another guy?
Or there's just or a guy like it's like this guy, and you're like, oh, La Parka, not even the real La Parka, like it's not even the same dude.
A third generation La Parka. Yeah, I think
it's 99 by a mile to me.
Yeah, well, and I mean you got Stone Cold. There's nobody in the Royal Rumble in 2026 that holds a candle to Stone Cold. And unfortunately,
that's not saying a lot because like there's nobody that holds a candle to Stone Cold almost in the history of the business. But is there anybody in the Royal Rumble 2026 that holds a candle to Vince McMahon?
Well, one of the things I was going to talk about is, man, the Times of Flat Circle. It's so funny. I don't know if you saw. This will be our 2026 Royal Rumble recap. After the show, Triple H, and one of the things that bothers me the most about modern wrestling, goes out onto the post show to talk about the happenings that have just occurred on the show and be like, oh man, pretty good booking, right? Pretty interesting.
Pretty interesting how we wrote that, isn't it?
And the crowd starts chanting, "We want Vince" at Triple H. But here's the thing. People are fickle. The machine, the mass is a fickle mistress because Vince is creative for over a decade. Sucked whenever he was the guy, and when Triple H was our NXT guy and he was giving us bangers and was just not talking all the time, people loved NXT. And now the machine is flipped because the Royal Rumble, the main sin of WWE in 2026 to me, and we'll talk about this 1999 show, and one of the positives you can give it, it's so boring. The Royal Rumble was boring. It can't be boring. It
was boring.
It was devoid of any emotion. I'd see a guy, it takes him 20 minutes to get to the ring. He gets in the ring, and then now just another guy's coming out. I'm like, well, none of these guys are going to win.
And it's just the guy. he doesn't have a compelling, like, aside from like a handful of dudes, he doesn't have a compelling story or a compelling gimmick. Like, you got to have one of the two. At least Iguana Guy had the iguana in his mouth.
Yeah, and when he gets chokeslammed, he pretends he's dead, like an iguana, which is, it's not funny every time. It's funny when I see him at the Royal Rumble.
It's a breath of fresh air when you're giving me all these rubes walking down. So, okay. So that takes us to WWE in 1999. What we are going to do, we did Royal Rumble 1999. If you didn't hear that episode, go back and watch it. Come back to this one, or just listen to this one, which I do. It's a free country, but Vince wins that Royal Rumble.
Yes.
Sorry to spoil it for you.
Yeah.
And then Dusty, can you lay the groundwork? Because you did on the last episode, but can you quickly recap what happens between Royal Rumble 1999 and St. Valentine's Day Massacre 1999?
I would love to. Vince wins the Royal Rumble. He eliminates Steve Austin. The next night, Vince, because he put a bounty on Austin's head, and The Rock helped him eliminate Austin, he gives $100,000 to The Rock. And while he's in the ring, because now Vince is the number one contender, Vince says, well, I'm going to forfeit my number one contendership, and I'll pick who the new opponent is at WrestleMania. Does that negate the stakes of the Royal Rumble? Possibly.
The thing that everybody paid for.
The thing my mother paid for me to watch the night before immediately washed away.
What was it back then? 40 bucks or something?
$30 right down the tube.
$30, okay.
For the Royal Rumble. Shawn Michaels comes out. Shawn Michaels is the commissioner. He comes on screen. Turns out he's been day drinking with Steve Austin all day, and they've been going through the WWE rule book that you figure Vince McMahon was pretty familiar with.
He probably would be. He probably authored it.
You would assume. But turns out there's an old rule from way back in 93. They thought about this, where they instituted the winner goes to WrestleMania, where if the winner forfeits the title or the title shot, that the guy who got eliminated last becomes the new number one contender. What a great piece of news for Steve Austin.
This is unbelievable how this has worked out for the Stone Cold.
Not the 15th guy, the other last guy. And so he
if it's going to be
Vince.
Anybody, it would make sense for it to be the second to last guy.
Sure, but so Austin puts up the title shot against Vince because his favorite thing to do is kick Vince McMahon's ass.
Yeah.
He is unafraid of Vince's ability to beat him, and he wants Vince in a steel cage. And Vince agrees. So if Austin wins, he gets to go to WrestleMania and has the added benefit of whooping Vince's ass. If Vince wins, Austin's out of the championship match. Those are the stakes that we've set up for St. Valentine's Day Massacre.
And what stakes they are, Dusty. So
could it be any higher is the real question.
This card, I mean, there's a lot going on here, Dusty. A lot of stories.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Is this is so we're Russoing. We're in the waters. We're deep in the Russo era here, and this is like the one thing you can't say about this show is that it's boring. There's a lot you can say, but the one thing you can't say is that it's boring. We are, of course, in Memphis, Tennessee, at the Memphis Pyramid. It's February 14th, 1999, obviously, for the St. Valentine's Day Massacre. 19,028 people in attendance. The buy rate for this show, 450,000 buys, which is an insane number for an in-your-house pay-per-view. But what we really want to know is, can I be counted among the people that ordered St. Valentine's Day Massacre? Of course I was.
You were. Oh, okay.
2 months in a row. Kathy coming through.
Listen, dude, there are a few there's some low points, but there are some moments here. I think this is worth 30 of your mother's dollars.
Yeah. So first off, one of the no sarcasm, one of the highlights of this show is the opening of this show is it starts as a black and white video just recapping Vince and Steve Austin antics, and it's set to a song called Crazy, but not the Patsy Cline song. This is like an old
or the Gnarls Barkley song,
or the Gnarls Barkley song, which we've hung in the rafters. I don't know if you listen to our old podcast. No need to hear Crazy by Gnarls Barkley ever again.
Yeah, I don't think that's in the rafters. We have retired it, but it hasn't been retired with honors. Like, it's not going up there next to Jim Carrey and Heavyweights. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
sorry,
we're just done listening to Crazy by Gnarls Barkley. Yeah, it's not a terrible song, but I don't ever want to hear it again.
Its time has passed. But this Crazy is like a sort of blues, like a 30s kind of blues Peggy Lee style song. I couldn't find the actual song. I looked, but it's awesome. And of course it is, because it's all the Vince and Austin highlights where Vince is making all his mad faces and Austin's filling his limousine or filling his Corvette with cement and fucking spraying beer on him and beating his ass with a bedpan. It's all the highlights.
And it's got like an old timey filter over the front of it, like it's an old talkie.
Yeah, like a vaudeville kind of. Yeah.
And it is. I texted Dusty and I was like, "This show might start with the GOAT video pack. It's one of the best video packs. It's so funny that you're just watching. Like, I want to sit my girlfriend down and just show her that. This is the beginning of this show.
It's really, really good. And then it cuts to color, and then they set up the stakes for the show. And they were on a GOAT run of video packages this time. I think this is David Sahadi, who was their main video guy, but this guy made a bunch of awesome opening videos for them in this era.
And this is the thing about the Russo era, the Attitude, well, even let's just call it the Attitude era because it goes beyond him. They did so many crazy things, like these outlandish things, that it worked perfectly for video packages, because seeing 2 seconds at a time of the craziest shit you've ever seen is funny for 20 minutes.
Right. Yeah, that's evergreen. What is not evergreen? We're joined on commentary by Michael Cole and Jerry the King Lawler. Jim Ross is still out at this point. Match number 1. We've got a hot angle. Got a hot crowd. We're in the middle of the hot era of WWF. The opening match is Goldust versus the Blue Meanie as Blue Dust. And as soon as this happened,
listen, dude,
I was like, the fucking audacity, dude. the unmitigated gall of WWF to do this and then give me a complex story underneath this. As we'll remember from Royal Rumble 99, the Brood and the Job Squad, cats and dogs, can't get along. Apparently, that has been resolved in some way or another. Now, the Blue Meanie is impersonating Goldust, and the previous night they had a Raw live on Saturday, and Blue Meanie distracts Goldust so that Gillberg could get his first win in WWF, leading to this match. That's a sentence. Blue Meanie helps Gillberg beat Goldust on Saturday Night Raw.
Listen, dude, if you want to get heat, you get Gillberg to beat my ass, we got problems, dog.
Yeah.
I got a reputation to protect.
Yeah. This match is not. Oh, and they gave Goldust a blue bath. Obviously, they covered him in blue paint.
What? They're not going to do that? Are they going to?
Yeah. What are they not going to do?
And they showed a video package of just naked Blue Meanie with I can't remember what was on his private parts, but it was just, there was a lot going on here. One of my notes for this was, do you think I think Goldust is going to win before the last piece of gold confetti falls from the roof?
Yeah, this match is it is nothing. There's almost no notes. It's just a comedy match. The highlight is that the Blue Meanie misses a moonsault off the top rope, and then Goldust hits him with the curtain call for the win. Of course he does, because you're not having the Blue Meanie beat Goldust. But then, because it is the Attitude Era, and these people in this audience are rabid, Like they cannot be satisfied. Did you beat your opponent? Yes. Did the guy we want to win win? Yes. Did Goldust get to kick his opponents in the nads? No. we got to rectify that.
Yeah, the crowd's out for nads, man. They it's got to happen.
So of course Goldust then does the Shattered Dreams in the corner, and that gets a bigger pop than anything else in this entire match.
And okay, so there's a couple of highlights. First of all, they said Goldust is perhaps the most bizarre individual in the history of the World Wrestling Federation. They got a guy who carries a disembodied head around currently.
That also he hears voices from.
And there was a man there was also a man who thought he was a repo man.
Yeah.
And
there's a guy who carries an eye in formaldehyde. Also on this show.
There's an Undertaker on this show. What am I even thinking?
He's a dude that's
building a death cult.
The straight up devil. Yeah. He's
jumping people into a death cult, and he's a babyface somehow.
Yeah.
The other thing was just impeccable timing, that there's no way I don't think Michael Cole would have planned this out, but there's a part where Michael Cole says, "This is perhaps the most emotionally charged pay-per-view in the history of the WWF." And at that exact time, while he is saying that, Goldust is laying on his back, and the Blue Meanie has his leg and is just humping his leg, and the crowd is cheering.
Look, emotion comes out in a lot of ways.
That is true. That is true.
You know? Yeah, so
by the way, Goldust did pin the Blue Meanie, and then when you see him celebrating, you do see a piece of gold confetti falling behind him. He did beat him before the confetti stopped falling.
One last petal falls before the beast is dead, you know?
Yeah.
That's backstage, they show a recap of Vince McMahon on Sunday Night Heat. He's trying to bait Austin into attacking him so that he doesn't have to have this match with him, because Steve Austin is only allowed to attack Vince once the bell rings. And this is when they still cared about Sunday Night Heat. They were on MTV. It's a big deal. Our second match is for the hardcore title. Sadly for you, Andrew, the Road Dogg has been injured. I couldn't find if he had been kayfabe injured or if he was really hurt, but he was the hardcore champion at the time. They had moved him. They'd kind of done like a soft split up of the New Age Outlaws, where Road Dogg's going for the hardcore title and Billy's going for the Intercontinental title. And so Road Dogg had been the IC or the hardcore champion, but he had to vacate the belt.
See, I've got an issue with this. Guy's champion, you just beat his ass backstage. He's not the champion anymore. You know?
Yeah.
What's that happen in UFC?
That also happened to CM Punk. He got kicked in the head backstage, and they were like, "Well, title's vacated." So
don't you think there'd just be guys waiting outside the champion's door constantly? You know?
Yeah, with just a stick,
yeah,
just waiting to blast him. So we have a hardcore Holly, who's actually not hardcore yet. He's still Bob, just Bob, and he's wrestling Al Snow, and they're part of the same stable, which is another Russo-rific thing, is guys in stables fighting each other. They're both part of the Job Squad.
Listen, dude, that belt, once a belt's up, all bets are off, dude. We're not friends anymore.
Yeah, Chuck fought Tito, you know. They were in the same camp. This is a very fondly remembered hardcore match, and there's one specific reason why it's remembered well. Even on our YouTube, a guy said, "Bob Holly versus Al Snow, pretty good on the next show." I hate to tell this guy, this match stinks.
Well, there's a few good things. It stinks, but I agree. For the record, I agree with you that it stinks. But we've got Al Snow grabbing Bob Holly near a payphone, and he grabs the phone and says, "Reach out and touch somebody," and then smacks him in the head with the phone.
Yeah.
They fight outside to some bar. I'm not going to go through the whole thing because I know you've got some notes too. They fight outside towards some barbed wire, and do you have it written down what Al Snow said?
I do. He tells Bob Holly to meet his girlfriend, Barbie Wire.
Barbie Wire. Huh?
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah, maybe I'm too hard on it. Like a minute into this match, Al Snow just gets blasted in the head with a steel chair.
yeah,
Like
he gets fucking
just
smoked.
immediately he
Yeah.
gets smoked by Bob Holly. They fight kind of meandering all through the backstage area. They're just throwing stuff at each other, and I get it. They're on concrete, and then they're literally outside, so no one wants to take a bump.
Yeah.
But it's really boring to watch Al Snow throw rabid punches to Bob Holly's rib cage,
while he's just walking.
yeah, to his kidneys while he's just walking away from him. And then they fight through what is a really not very good setup for a barricade if you don't want somebody to just walk through it. They're like barricading the river, but it's just one thing in the way between them and the bank of the river. Really easy to get out of the way of. And they fight for a long time in the dark. They're just outside randomly, and then they're hitting each other with stuff that I'm assuming they set up, but like they broke a hobo bindle on each other. They fight into the river, which I think that's the thing the match is most remembered for. Like looking at it now in 2026, it seems rather pedestrian, but for 1999, it's like crazy. They fought into the river. Like Vampiro hasn't beat up Sting in the graveyard yet. We haven't reached the next level. Dumped a
big old bag of blood on him in the but
yeah.
Yeah, but it seems normal now because of this era. You know what I mean? So like the one of my favorite parts of this show is Bob Holly is just, there's a tire in the river.
Yeah.
And just floating where they're in the water, and Bob Holly is just slamming Al Snow's head into this tire just over and over and over again. It's a great visual.
My real question was watching it going like, how much of this did they work beforehand? Because if he's hitting me with a real stick that like we didn't check beforehand, I'm gonna be really upset at Bob Holly because he breaks like a pretty big stick over Al Snow's back. Like I don't know if they scouted the location beforehand. I assume they did some because there's just a random roll of chain link out by the river, possibly for further barricading, but it's just sitting there. And neither one of these guys can roll that chain link out.
And it's February in Tennessee, dog. Like that could be in the 40s outside.
Yeah. It's cold as hell.
They don't really react to the cold. They're probably really hot when they go in, but once they got like, I agree with you. The meandering hardcore matches I don't like very much unless it's Mick Foley and Triple H at Canadian Stampede.
Yeah,
or it involves Terry Funk. Like those two can do it, but like. The rest, I just like, okay, it's just very obvious that you guys are just trying to walk places because you have set pieces and like all this stuff. But who's the one guy that screamed all the time?
Oh, Norman Smiley.
Norman Smiley. I don't need Norman Smiley, you know?
Yeah. Well, so the end of this match, Bob Holly finally unrolls the chain link and then slams Al Snow on it and then wraps him up in it, and it did get a laugh out of me because Al Snow suddenly looks like a dog that has the cone on its head because he's like being covered and he's going like har, 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 like he's trying to gnarl Bob Holly to get out.
He's a rabid burrito.
Yeah, and Bob pins him and wins the hardcore title, and this is like a big step up for Bob Holly because the whole match Jerry Lawler's shitting on him for being Sparky Plug Holly, and this being in this division is what makes him Hardcore Holly. Like this is like the peak of Bob Holly's run as a wrestler.
When I was watching wrestling, which is right after this, Bob Holly was the scariest dude on the planet. You know,
he's a real mean dude in real life.
The funny thing is because they meandered so far. Bob Holly pinned Al Snow right next to the water.
Yeah.
So he had to just walk, and he's not running. He walked all the way back into the arena to get the belt
from him and the referee to get in the ring to get the beauty shot of him with the hardcore belt. And then they cut back to Al Snow still wrapped in the
still in the burrito.
Yeah, so it doesn't age well. I remember at the time thinking like, wow, it's crazy. They're fighting outside on the street. And there are some funny moments, like you said. So next we go backstage, and it's the Ministry of Darkness around a hobo fire, which apparently might have been the hobo fire that was supplying the hobos for that the hardcore guys were wrestling next to.
This had one of the funniest lines of all time. Just the delivery, because listen, I hate the Ministry of Darkness. I don't like it. I think it's funny that they like jump their guys in, which is like a gang.
It's the prison rules for the Ministry of Darkness. Yeah.
So this is they're in a circle, and there's like Bradshaw and all that. Like everybody's there, right? Then Bradshaw in the Ministry of Darkness.
Yeah, Bradshaw's in the Ministry of Darkness, no selling the occult shit that's happening. He's got his arms crossed around the hobo fire.
Listen, just tell me who to clothesline, feller.
Yeah, he's hanging out with the straight up devil and a bunch of vampire dudes, and he's just no selling it.
And so the Undertaker is addressing the Ministry, and he's like, getting them ready for what is to come. And he says, "Brother Midian, tonight you step into the ring with the boss man." The big boss man's name is the funniest name in wrestling. Like it's just because you can't take it's
well, it's the same problem as with the Undertaker. Like Saturday, I'm gonna take down the Undertaker. The Undertaker sounds cooler, but it is weird to have to cut promos being like, and I don't like that big boss man. You still have to call him big at the top,
No, yeah, and it's just and because the problem is you got a dichotomy. You have made this crazy, scary, literal demon character, and you've still got a boss man. So he has to address these people. Like a real demon would not concern himself with the boss man.
Right.
It's I wish Undertaker was a little bit earlier. Like,
rules,
man,
the rules of this realm do not apply to the Undertaker.
Tonight you go toe to toe with Tugboat.
Tonight you go toe to toe with the Birdman. Beware.
with Red Rooster. If the Undertaker had ever said the Honky Tonk Man, did they ever cross paths? Oh man! But
they were on the same team. Remember when he debuted? He was on the same team as the Honky Tonk Man.
Oh, yep. That is true. That is true. But Brother Midian, tonight you step into the ring with the boss man was one. I popped really hard. I started laughing out loud when he said that.
The Brood, post their feud with the Job Squad, have joined the Ministry of Darkness, which really is kind of just a synergy sort of move. It's like when a big corporation buys up a small corporation that does the same thing. You're like, well, of course the vampire guy is going to go with the evil devil guy.
Yeah, I think he started the Brood as in order to sell it to the Ministry of Darkness.
Yeah, it's like when Instagram wanted to get bought by Facebook. You start a rival thing, and then you hope to get bought out.
So let me get this Brood straight, by the way.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
The corporation, they're the heels of the company right now.
Right.
Everybody hates corporation.
Yeah.
So everybody in the corporation is currently a heel, including the boss man.
Yeah.
So the baby faces in this feud is a faction called the Ministry of Darkness.
Well, simple Andrew. Okay? You're thinking about this in terms of classic wrestling. You got to put your Russo hat on, dude. You got to the Ministry of Darkness are also heels. The reason they're feuding with the corporation is because the Undertaker hates Vince McMahon still. It's not an issue of who's a heel or a babyface. It's that Vince and the Undertaker have unsquashed beef, and so now they're feuding with each other.
Listen, the enemy of my enemy is a babyface, so I am rooting for, what is it, Midian, whoever Midian is.
Yeah, which does lead nicely into match number 3, the Big Boss Man versus Midian. This show, the fucking balls of the WWF to charge me money, to make my mom pay money to see the Big Boss Man versus Midian.
Following Goldust versus Blue Dust.
Yeah. Yeah, because okay, so the Big Boss Man is like at the very least corrupt, and at worst he's he's an implement of an authoritarian leadership. The Vince McMahon is not he's not running a democracy in the WWF. So that leads me to root for Midian, who's just a weird guy. He's a harmless, weird looking homeless dude, basically. And if I have to root for somebody, you put me on the side of Midian, who's a guy who wears a shirt that says "Accept the purity of evil" on the back of his shirt. Hell yeah, dude!
It's crazy that he wears that shirt after he leaves all the Bibles in hotel rooms.
Yeah. I think.
That's the Gideon. That's the Gideon.
Yeah. That's Rocky Raccoon found one of those. That's after his girlfriend Lil left him.
Listen, it wasn't my best work. Okay.
What kind of award did the dentist win? A little plaque.
Which one was better?
I'm going with you, Gideon.
Okay. I appreciate
Gideon, Midian. I
appreciate that.
On the road to Damascus, Midian becomes Gideon. It's a gimmick refresh. Michael Cole, I believe, is talking about Midian and refers to him as an impressive athlete. And look, I'm sitting here. I know what's going on. There's a lot of stuff you could call Dennis Knight, Phineas Godwin, Midian. Impressive athlete does not, it's lower on the list of things, is all I'll say.
Michael Cole is in his, I haven't figured out how to be subtle about the spin zone era of his career.
Yeah.
So
we get hit with a boring chant in this match, if you could imagine it. And then
you don't call the boss man boring.
Yeah, the boss man, in a rare win, gets to hit the boss man slam, which is his finish, which is also hilarious, for the win. So he beats the demon's the demon's apprentice here. But of course, the Ministry don't play fair. So they hit do they hit Undertaker's music?
I believe they hit Undertaker's music. I think they did.
Yeah, because
I was in a flu fever dream, but I believe they did.
Because at this point in the Undertaker's career, for a brief time, his whole deal is music hits. He walks halfway down the aisle. He does some spooky shit, and then he gets out. It's good work if you can get it for Mark.
Yeah.
No bucks for Mark tonight.
His money per minute's pretty good.
Yeah. The Ministry comes out to kick the shit out of the Big Boss Man. Where's the Big Boss Man's homeboys? He needs a Randy Savage in the corporation. He's got no riders, dude.
Listen, Randy Savage doesn't grow on trees, dog. He's an all-time riding for his hitters, bro.
Where's Test? What happened to Test?
Well, Test lost to Viscera with the Big Boss Man cage side in a dark match tonight. So Test is
tough night for the corporation.
Yeah. So where was the Big Boss Man when Test lost to Viscera? So that might answer your question here.
Yeah. Viscera hits 3 big splashes in a row on Boss Man, and then they just carry him out. He's got no help. Who knows what's going to happen to Big Boss Man?
He has officially been jumped into the Ministry of Darkness.
Yeah. Backstage, we get introduced to Ivory, who is now the manager for D'Lo Brown and Sexual Chocolate Mark Henry, because Mark Henry is girl crazy, let me tell you. And so D'Lo has brought in Ivory to offset the
ebony.
The Deborah effect. Gotta have something for the Deborah McMichael effect, and this is Ivory. And then I thought D'Lo cut a pretty decent promo.
He does, but he also promises that if Deborah interferes in the tag team match, Ivory will pull every stitch of clothes off of her body.
Yeah, which seems reactionary and aggressive.
I wrote down those are Chekhov's panties.
Yeah.
Because you don't tell a 1999
No.
WWF crowd that they might be able to see Deborah in her skivvies and not deliver.
Yeah. And of course, every match. So we're on to match 4, which is D'Lo Brown and Mark Henry versus Jeff Jarrett and Owen Hart for the World Tag Team titles. You've got Owen Hart and Jeff Jarrett and D'Lo Brown, and then lower but still there, Mark Henry. And not a person in this audience could be bothered with this wrestling match. Like, at this point, the whole gimmick for Jarrett and Owen Hart is, will Deborah distract their opponents by flirting with them and probably, opening her shirt jacket? And of course she does. Every match, it happens. And so
it's like the Stone Cold's going to hit the stunner.
Right. I do commend D'Lo Brown and Mark Henry for at least studying the game tape and trying to come up with a counter to Deborah McMahon. So, unfortunately, even though Jeff Jarrett and Owen Hart are a pretty good tag team, no one cares about this match. D'Lo Brown does some decent stuff. I really like D'Lo. He's been a highlight of these last 2 1999 matches we watched, but nobody's getting any time to work. There's no real storyline between these two people, and everybody just wants to see the two managers fight. So, Deborah attempts to distract Mark Henry, and then Ivory stops her short of her promise to tear all of her clothes off. But she does stop her, but that does allow Owen Hart to slam the guitar into Mark Henry's knee. And this is why the guitar is one of the stupidest weapons in the history of wrestling.
We might have the same note.
It makes a giant noise, and the ref is 1 foot away from Owen Hart and Mark Henry.
He's literally right there. He's just got his back turned. He's right there.
And to Owen's credit, he does try to remove the pieces of the guitar because he's a goddamn professional. But there is whole body of this guitar still in the ring.
Strewn about.
When Jeff Jarrett locks on the figure 4 to get Mark Henry to submit, and the referee has to look dead at the mat and pretend like there's not whole pieces of guitar laying there.
I wrote the same thing. Referee turns around, guitar parts everywhere. Jeff Jarrett has Mark Henry in a figure 4.
It's like, and it makes such a discernible noise that the referee has to not turn around for. And it also means it's the thing in horror movies where no one in a horror movie has ever seen a horror movie, and that's why a lot of them are dumb. Like, no referee has seen a Jeff Jarrett match. He's breaking guitars every goddamn night. You don't think ahead of time. Maybe I give the guitar to the timekeeper.
If you see guitar parts all over the place, whoever's on the ground got hit by that guitar, unless it's Eddie Guerrero on the ground, and that's what makes Eddie Guerrero's move. I don't know if he's the first person to ever do it, but he definitely was the one to make it famous, and Dom did it recently, where slam the chair on the ground, throw the chair to your opponent, and fall to your back is just beautiful professional wrestling, because the referee turns around, the guitar is everywhere.
Yeah. The referees, we all know, are famous for lacking inductive reasoning, A to B, and 2, no object permanence. If they didn't see that guitar, there's no guitar. It doesn't exist.
If they didn't see that guitar smash, the guitar smash didn't happen.
Right.
And they're also like a slight breeze knocks them out for just the exact amount of time you need them knocked out for.
Yep. And then if you need to wake them up, right out of that sleep, you shake them.
You just walk over and you pick them up, and they're ready to do a 3 count immediately.
Yep. No questions asked. After the match, Ivory does attack Deborah and tries to, fulfill her promise, much to the delight of this crowd because it's 1999. And then Owen and Jarrett and her run off. And that's that.
Actually, a little proud we didn't see. Well, they didn't deliver on the Chekhov's panties, but I was absolutely sure that was going to happen.
Backstage, Kevin Kelly is with Mankind, and they show earlier in the day, Mankind is doing some calisthenics with the Iron Sheik and Bob Backlund ahead of his Last Man Standing match, and The Rock comes out of nowhere and blasts Mick in the knee with an oxygen tank and starts kicking his ass. And then Mankind's backstage, and he goes, "Look, I get it. He attacked me whenever I was vulnerable. Got to respect it."
Well, yeah, he does it as like they're like, break this down for us. He's like, all right. He's like, all right. Rock comes in with a cheap shot. You got to respect that though, because it's like he just breaks the whole thing down and is not mad at The Rock at all for hitting him in the back with an oxygen tank.
He's great.
It's great work by Mick.
Apparently, if I had sent in my pay-per-view bill showing that I bought St. Valentine's Day Massacre, I could have got a sweet photo magnet from the WWF. Never did that. Never got that.
Can't believe you didn't do that.
That's tough.
Yeah.
Oh boy. So up next is the Intercontinental Championship match this show between Val Venus and Ken Shamrock, who is the Intercontinental Champion. Billy Gunn has been inserted into the spot as the special referee.
Because all of the referees refused to referee this match.
Right, Ken Shamrock, too much of a loose cannon.
Yeah.
So I clipped directly from the Wikipedia summary of this show. On January 25th, Ryan Shamrock was officially introduced to the viewers by Val Venus. It was revealed that she had starred with Venus in a fictional pornography film, and obviously upsetting Ken Shamrock, her brother. And
it was called the hackiest, what everybody calls a fake porno. Dusty, what was it called?
Don't make me say it, man. I don't want to say it.
I'll say it.
You say it. Yeah.
I'm the guy who says it, I feel like. It was called Shaving Ryan's Privates, and that is
because the film Saving Private Ryan had come out the previous summer, leading to a joke that lived on middle schools around the world.
Dude, it won't die. I swear I've heard that joke in the last month.
It's that, the Marilyn Manson thing, and the Pop Rocks thing.
And you can't see John Cena.
Yep, can't go away. Okay, so then Ryan Shamrock's with Val Venus, and of course Ken's pissed about it, and then Billy Gunn flirts with Ryan Shamrock, so Ken is pissed at him, and they're both like, "What's going on?"
By the way, do you remember this part of the pay-per-view watching it as a kid? Because the vignette before this was like, there was a one frame of it that was pretty explicit.
Yeah, I might have watched it. I might have had to like change the channel for it or whatever.
Did your mom sit and watch these pay-per-views with you?
Yeah, there was some stuff that Kathy wasn't going to abide. You know,
that's what I'm saying. Like you that would have been tough. You just sitting there going, "Please don't look at the TV right now. Please, not when they're in the shower."
Well, and that would be the exact moment that she looked at the TV, because that's the way it goes.
That's how it works. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but turns out that both Val Venus and Billy Gunn should have been upset, because plot twist: Ken Shamrock was dating the actress that played his sister. Because of course, why wouldn't he? Well, it does seem weird to Ken Shamrock. So
didn't she eventually like left the company because they wanted to do an incest angle between her and Ken Shamrock?
Yes, and that is true. And
Shamrock refused.
And she didn't want to sign a 5-year deal, which smart on her part, probably.
Probably not, dude. You know where she didn't end up anywhere good.
Well, but then she's also not in an incest angle with Ken Shamrock.
Well, yeah, except for the incest angle part. But I think it was Ken that turned down the incest angle, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Who knows?
It might be. But anyway, Attitude Era. Goddamn.
By the way,
Russo.
Nothing more disappointing in the world than hearing, "Oh, you didn't know," and then only Billy Gunn walks out.
Only Billy Gunn, yeah. That's the most charisma Billy Gunn ever showed on the microphone.
Yeah.
By the way, was ripping
He
off
did
the
okay.
Road Dogg. So
You did
Billy
okay.
comes out. He's got the small shorts. He's got the tight ref shirt because that's the gimmick.
He's Mr. Ass. What's he gonna do?
Yeah.
Was this pre or post Mr. Ass?
This is he's in the thick of it. This is
He's
prime
currently Mr. Ass.
Yeah.
Okay.
Val Venus comes out. He does the hello ladies. It's Valentine's Day. He's got a heart on. You see.
Yeah.
Nailed it. I hate Val Venus, and not just because of who Val Venus has become. I hate him in the past too. I hate I hate the present and the past of Val Venus both.
I agree, but we've talked about it before. The Big Valboski is very funny.
Big Valboski's funny, yeah. Okay, so they're wrestling. Ken Shamrock is unhinged. That's his whole gimmick. Is he's mad all the time. He
freaks out.
Yeah. And Billy Gunn is arguing with Ken Shamrock, and Billy goes, "Hey, I got stripes, and they ain't red, and they ain't yellow, and I don't know what that means."
Who said it?
Billy Gunn. He points at the ref shirt to be like, "I'm the ref," and unless it's a Hulk Hogan thing, the red and yellow.
I know what the yellow is. Like yellow is like scared.
Yeah,
but like he doesn't have Jamaican beer.
Yeah, it's not Red Stripe. All right, so I was watching this going, man. The problem is Val Venus, Sean Morley, is a perfectly fine pro wrestler. Like he can do the moves. He works hard. Big dude, in good shape. The Val Venus character has no ceiling. Like there's no top floor for Val Venus. This is about as high as it can get for him, because you can't send Val Venus on to Good Morning America. Like you can't. Even the Undertaker was on.
He's not gonna be doing Make-A-Wish wishes.
Yeah. So they're. Shamrock hits Val with what made me think of that is Shamrock hits Val Venus with a DDT, and Val Venus always did the headstand on the DDT, which looked really cool. Yeah. And I was like, okay, he's got some moves, but they're not any good. The main part of this is Billy Gunn is very slowly counting, which is like he's getting heat with me because I want this match to be over. And so it's not funny to me that he's slow counting all of these near falls. Yep. For this dog shit match. So, of course, Ken Shamrock eventually shoves Billy Gunn for some infraction, and then Gunn hits him outside of the ring and throws him in, and Val hits him with rolls him up with a small package, which he should have called the big pack. If you're gonna do it,
I was actually thinking the same exact thing when you said that. Like it should be called the big package for Val Venus.
Yeah, and then Billy Gunn fast counts him. So now Val Venus is the Intercontinental Champion. He just pinned Ken Shamrock. So the corporation's they're just zeros across the board for tonight. And then Billy Gunn beats the shit out of Val Venus, who just won the Intercontinental title.
But you missed something.
I'm sorry.
You missed Ryan interfering. So Ryan interferes, and I think Ken Shamrock was pinning Val Venus, Ken Shamrock had him in the ankle lock, and then
that's right.
Ryan pulls Val Venus to the ropes. There's a reason I'm bringing this up. Val then grabs the ropes. Ken Shamrock's like, "What the fuck?" Gets out, walks Ryan down and screams at her for a little bit, pauses for 1 second, and then goes, "Slap me." And then she slaps him. And you can very clearly see it and hear it on the broadcast.
Yeah.
It was very funny.
Because of how Attitude Era this thing is, right? So Val wins the title, and then Val Venus dumps Ryan Shamrock the next night. And then There's a backstage attack where Billy Gunn tries to console Ryan, only to be attacked by Ken Shamrock. On March 1st, Ryan comes down to the ring during a match involving Val Venus, Shamrock, and Goldust, and was kissed by Goldust afterwards. And then she accompanies Goldust at WrestleMania because nothing could ever just be simple. There's got to be 15 swerves in every one of these matches and every one of these storylines.
Yeah, and I'm trying to find it so I could show it really quick. I found it. When Billy Gunn hits Val Venus, he hits the most feverish DX suck it I've ever seen in my life. This is the most amped up man.
He's got to make his money, dude. Okay, so then we go backstage and like I'm having some nostalgia still here, you know, like I remember these shows. I remember how hot wrestling was. I remember it was cool to like wrestling at this moment, and so I'm like in the pocket.
Yeah.
And then there's a commercial. And the commercial is for a Mr. Sacco t-shirt. It's a Mr. Sacco t-shirt that I believe says "Ready for Action," which doesn't make any sense.
That's probably something Mankind was saying at the time or something.
But you know, it just like, man, we used to be a country. You could get a Mr. Sacco shirt for $14.99 on delivery. Like, what a time to be alive, you know.
And it looked rugged. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's not these like Booty-O shirts, which is fine, you know. But
yeah,
I was thinking about it when they were showing Mankind. I remember at one point they were like, because I was like 8 at this time, but like I saw something that was like, I knew who Mankind was at this specific time, and I remember they were selling Mr. Sacco. And I thought you were getting like the real, like a game used Mr. Sacco.
Yeah. That's the one that's been on the field.
Yeah. Whose mouth has this been in?
I had a Mr. Sacco hat that just said Mr. Sacco on it.
Hell yeah.
It had a picture of Mr. Sacco. Did I wear it to hat day at my high school? Of course I did.
Yeah.
How could I not have been the coolest dude in my high school?
Was it black?
It was black. With a yellow Mr.
this
Sacco,
guy right here?
Might have been that guy, yeah.
That's funny.
Man, what was I doing? Why did I do that?
It's peak 90s, bro. That's great. I love it.
Yeah.
I wish you still had that hat.
I wish I had that hat, yeah. All right, so match number 6, we've got Triple H and X-Pac of D Generation X taking on Kane and Chyna? What?
What? A girl?
A girl? Okay, so of course, you know, the Vince Russo Attitude Era, it's all swerves and Shyamalans for you, but Chyna turning on Triple H and joining the corporation after being in DX for so long was a pretty good twist. That in and of itself, it was a pretty good twist. Triple H is in a I Quit match, and they're threatening to have Kane chokeslam Chyna through the announce desk if Triple H doesn't quit. I don't know why Triple H would quit, because no one's ever died going through the announce table. It's like a pretty regular
She's
wrestler
a girl.
bump. Yeah, so he quits, and then she fucking in the nads him, boom, and she joins the corporation. So
it wasn't even going to be through the table, by the way. They were in the ring.
That's right. I upped the stakes.
Yeah, Triple H is on the table, and he says, "I quit," with a microphone, gets in the ring, right in the nads.
Yeah, just and of course, Kane is back from the insane asylum. He's made a deal with Vince. He'll be in the corporation. Keep him out of the insane asylum. Triple H calls Chyna a big jacked up bitch.
Yeah,
before this match, which is some peak 1999 stuff.
And they're dating at the time, by the way.
Yeah. The big thing that I'm going to need from you in this match, Andrew, is your guy, your man, your boy, some would say, Shane O'Mac,
Yeah.
young Shane, is down to ringside on commentary, doing what might be the most annoying commentary of all time. So I need you. Get up on the soapbox and defend your guy.
It's the only thing I'll say.
Bam,
Okay.
bam, get him. Woo, yeah.
This is the thing. First of all, I don't like to throw the cocaine accusations around, but Shane might have been having a good time at this point. You know what I mean?
Sure. He's in
But
Memphis. He's having a night.
We have to remember the character that Shane O'Mac is currently playing. Shane O'Mac is playing the blue blood, annoying. He's playing Donald Trump Jr. right now.
Yeah,
What is Donald Trump Jr.? He's annoying and he's on cocaine.
Sure.
So
it's rough, dude.
I think you nailed it.
It is rough to listen to. I was thinking, okay, so what a time for Kane. It's not. I'm going to cheat a little bit. It's not exactly a year. Of course, he debuts at Bad Blood in 1997. That's got to be Kane, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's back for vengeance. Everyone thought he was dead. He's all burned up. He feuds with his brother, who he thinks killed his family. In 1998, he wins the WWF Championship for one night in '98. He and his brother reconcile, find out that their real dad is Paul Bearer.
This is what a time for Kane. You're all right about it.
Then the end of the year, he gets forced to join with his evil boss, and then his evil boss throws him in an insane asylum unless he decides that he's going to team up with whoever they tell him to team up with. And now he's at St. Valentine's Day Massacre. What a roller coaster ride for Kane.
Literally gets chased out of the Royal Rumble by like 20 orderlies.
Yeah, by dudes by the white coats. They're after him. So this is interesting because, like, okay, everybody in this match. I don't want to besmirch China. She's not a great wrestler, but like the heavy lifting in this match could be done by what are three pretty good wrestlers, and this match is bad. It's really bad. It's all suplex counters, and I can't figure out why Triple H can't suplex China, but China can, like, she blocks a suplex by Triple H, and then Triple H blocks a suplex by her, and then gets suplexed by her. I believe at one point in this match, it's
she's a very dense woman, Dusty.
The
only thing I wrote down for this match is there's a sign that says China is my father.
X-Pac attacks Shane because they're setting up an X-Pac Shane McMahon match. He does, in fact, hit the Bronco Buster on China for the crowd to go wild because that's 1999.
Had to happen.
Then Shane attacks X-Pac. They run to the back, and then Kane chokeslams Triple H, and China gets the pin. He stops Triple H from pedigreeing China, and then flips him around, gives him the chokeslam, puts China on top of him, and they pick up the win.
And the funny thing is, like, China was like kind of okay when he pulled her out of the pedigree. She's like kind of stumbling, and then she realizes, oh wait, I'm supposed to be dead, and just falls flat on her face.
Yeah, and she's dead like for a while. Like Kane kind of carries her backstage. She has to sell the whole way, and it's like one choke slam takes out Triple H, and he's dead for however long it takes for him to put China over on top of him. Yeah, and they pick up the win. Didn't think this was great. It was still. We're gonna give a match of the night later on among all this stuff that's happening.
Are we okay? That's gonna be tough. Match of the night's gonna be tough for me.
Oh, that's right. I think I know what's happening. So there are two ambulances backstage, which means Steve Austin's got to be going nuts. He's got to be salivating at the prospect of driving not one but two ambulances.
I could drive two ambulances. I can't do my.
They beat the shit out of me, send me to the hospital. I come back, they beat me up again. They send me back to the hospital. I come back again.
You
Stone
make sure
Cold.
you leave the keys in them son bitches. I can't
we
do my
a
Stone Cold in my throat like this.
Oh, that's right. We do a video package to recap the Rock versus Mankind feud, which is crazy. This has been going on since November at the Survivor Series. And what was the Survivor Series, Andrew?
It was a deadly game.
Since Deadly Game. The Rock turns heel. He sharpshooters Mankind to win the WWF title because they'll never let the Montreal Screwjob go.
Yeah.
This is only a year after the Screwjob, so it's like at least pretty fresh. So technically, they're the main event of the November pay-per-view. They are the main event of the December pay-per-view, where Mankind wins the match with the Mandible Claw, but because The Rock never said "I quit," the belt doesn't change hands, even though Mankind still wins the match by TKO, which doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it's very dumb. So you have to beat this
match.
You have to beat your guy up to the point where he'll quit, but not to the point where he's incapacitated. It's a very, it's a very thin line there.
Except Stone Cold passed out in the sharpshooter, and Bret Hart won that match. Nay a year ago. Nary a year ago.
Yeah.
And so who knows? Must be in that rule book that Vince might have brushed up on that section of the rule book.
They're just pissed off. They're so mad that Shawn Michaels found that rule book.
Yeah. They're not the main event of the January show, the Royal Rumble, because the Royal Rumble is, but they have the I Quit match where Rock beats Mick's brains in with the steel chair. And
beats the joy of Christmas into Mick Foley.
Yeah. And then they were, at this point, WWF was so hot that at that year's Super Bowl, they did a halftime special called Halftime Heat that went straight up with the halftime show, where Mankind wrestled The Rock in an empty arena match. And Mankind beat The Rock in that match to win the WWF title back that he had lost at Royal Rumble. And there's a really good story in Mick Foley's book where he's talking about he was watching the Halftime Heat segment in an airport because it was pre-taped, and he's like, some people are getting into it. He's watching people get into this fight that they're having, and he's like, man, that's great. Me and Rock have such great chemistry. Like, we're getting people to buy in. And then the end of the match is Mick gets a forklift that has some pallets on it, and he's going to lower the forklift onto The Rock to smash him. And the camera's at like this view from the side. And then he said it switched to a POV. He didn't know this was going to happen. It switched to a POV of The Rock watching the pallets get dropped on him. And he said everybody in the hotel bar went, blah, man. And they just instantly lost everybody because there's no way that shot should exist.
Yeah.
Except in post. So
yeah, you set up a camera just in case they use this. By the way, the halftime that they went up against was a tribute to Motown's 40th anniversary with Boyz II Men, Smokey Robinson, Queen Latifah, Martha Reeves, and the Temptations. I'm fine watching Halftime Heat, to be honest.
Yeah,
I like Motown. I like all those people, but I'm fine watching Halftime Heat.
I'm definitely watching Halftime Heat when I'm 14 years old. I have not hit the Motown phase of my life yet, which is sad for me. But they had the WWE had a stranglehold on me at that point. I had a Mr. Sacco hat, for God's sakes.
The next one was Big Bad Voodoo Daddy, Stevie Wonder, and Gloria Estefan. So they really hadn't found their legs yet. Because I love Stevie Wonder as well. You know.
Yeah, yeah. That would have been really fun if you were like, man, I love Big Bad Voodoo Daddy, of course.
Yeah, big bad Voodoo Daddy guy. I can't even say it.
So this feud's been going since November, and these guys have been feuding in the main event. So this match is the last man standing match, and I will emphasize to you, Andrew, from the top, there must be a winner. The whole night. There's okay, up next. Last man standing. Somebody has to win this thing.
We're up shit creek if nobody wins this one because
it's gone too far. This is the last one. The beef is squashed. Somebody's got to go. There must be a winner in this match. I like last man standing. Okay, I don't love the concept of this match because I feel like shit that would normally pin you doesn't affect you as much in the last man standing match by necessity. Like you couldn't like, and none of the other moves really do anything. Nobody's not getting up to 10 off of DDT. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
it's an interesting thing. Like, I don't know. I think the problem is you couldn't do it now because every match has 15 finishers. Like you've already done the attitude adjustment 7 times, you know? So like,
yeah.
But back, especially with the Mick Foley situation where Mick is just willing to just get the ever living beat out of him constantly, you know, like, what's it going to take to make this guy lay down for 10 seconds?
Right.
I like it as a match concept.
Yeah. They're saying that Mankind has a dislocated knee, and I believe them because the Micker's moving slower than usual even on this one. There's a part where he has to run up the ramp to catch the Rock, and it's rough. It's rough stuff.
Either he is injured or he's selling it really well.
Yeah, he could be selling it. I do know that he has knee surgery not long after this in '99. So something's going on, and it doesn't take a lot to convince me that the Micker's knees are in rough shape. So there's a lot of, like, even though this is kind of a middle of the road match, it's still a pay-per-view. And even though they've just done the match where Mick doesn't trust The Rock anymore because he beat his brains in, that's what he did with the chair. He's still out here giving 1,000%. He takes 3 suplexes on the concrete floor. The Rock does grab a chair, but he's not hitting Mick in the face with it. He starts hitting him in the knee, and I wonder if that was a note from Foley or maybe more accurately Mick Foley's wife being like, "Don't let this dude hit you in the head with a chair again."
Well, I mean, Mick hits his head a few times in this match, like.
Yeah.
But they start in the ring and Mick has his back turned to The Rock because he's just a crazy person. So he's letting The Rock just beat the shit out of him, and then he eventually hits The Rock in the face with the belt and gets an 8 count, like 2 minutes into this match.
Well, the belt's heavy, dude.
That is true.
That's a quality shot. Yeah, they do, and there's a lot of comedy. They do actually infuse some comedy into this. Of course, they do the spot where The Rock has the chair and he goes to hit Mick with it, and Mick moves and the chair bounces back in his face. Works every time.
Evergreen. I was thinking about this spot. It's always good because it's at least kind of believable that the chair would bounce back and hit you in the face.
Right.
It would hurt.
Yeah.
And it's funny.
And yeah, and it's instant heel facing the doo-doo.
It's not hard to set up. You don't make it obvious to set up. You're gonna hit the guy in the head with the chair. He gets out of the way. You'll hit the top rope if they're standing in the right spot when you do it. Like, it's just, that is like maybe one of my favorite all comedy spots in wrestling because it's so simple and so stupid. I mean, the Rock goes through it. The Rock goes through a table pretty hard when they fight out of the ring too. Like the Rock's taking some bumps in this match. There's a monitor on his head.
Yeah, and this is the Rock's sweatsuit era, where I think he had some kind of cosmetic procedure done to like his midsection or something, if I remember right. And so he wasn't back in total ring shape yet, so he's wearing like the loose top and the warm-up pants during this era of his feud with Mick Foley. It's not he's not going full trunks to take on the Micker.
And he does that again late, like in the early 2000s, because I remember when I was watching a lot, he was always in like trainers, track pants, and a tank top. That was the Rock's gear, and I always wanted to dress like that, and I would have looked stupid. I would have looked very stupid.
Would have been you in a Mr. Sacco hat.
The skinniest little 10-year-old white boy you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah,
wearing a tank top.
Knockoff Run DMC.
Yeah.
So this is where The Rock also starts working out some of his bits. He's beating up Mick. He hits him with the corporate elbow. And then he sings SmackDown Hotel because they're in Memphis. But Another great spot. While he's singing SmackDown Hotel, Mick, at the end of the verse, Mick hits him with the mandible claw. And so now he's screaming into the mic while Mick's got him in the mandible.
Which was very good.
Another good spot. This is also where The Rock throws the goddamn ring steps from the ring to the floor onto Mankind, which I never understand how that doesn't kill Mick Foley.
Well,
he's like in a ball, basically, to weather the storm of the steps falling on him.
And that's immediately after Mick and The Rock are on the main Michael Cole announce table.
Yeah.
And Mick is setting The Rock up. It looks like he's gonna pile drive him, right? Is that what he's setting him up for? Hit basically,
the cactus pile driver, the Mick Foley classic.
And The Rock just flips Mick Foley over his head. And if you look at where Mick landed, there's no good place to land. There's like a cart on the ground. Yeah. There's like the edge of the table. And they showed this thing from like 3 different angles. And of course, Mick Foley hits the back of his stupid head right on the fucking table that they're standing on. And he hits his leg on a chair. I think Michael Cole said he hit his leg on the ring bell. So that might have been what he hit his leg on. But he hits his head and his leg simultaneously before he hits the ground. The Rock gets in the ring. Mick Foley is right next to the ring. Steps that Mick would check off steps because Mick Foley brings something really bad into the ring. It's going to get hit. He's going to get hit by it. The Rock picks it up and just spikes it down on top of Mick Foley.
It's crazy how much it seemed like The Rock didn't care if he killed Mick Foley.
Because Mick probably told him, dude, kill me. Like, dude, just do it stiff. Hit me hard.
There's no 30% night for the Micker on pay-per-view. It's 100.
Yeah, The Rock really I can't do my Mick Foley because of my throat. The Rock really nailed me with those steps. You got to give it to him. He's just a hard-fought individual.
Can't be upset about it. I got what the doctor called a hernia and a reverse hernia. That's where it comes out your butt. It's both. All my intestines are every which way. But I
signed up for an I Quit match.
He's a hell of an athlete.
What a way! Just a generational athlete we saw here.
So the end of this match is both guys have grabbed a chair and they're feeding up, and then they run at each other and hit each other in the face with the chair. The Rock does a pretty good sell where he falls like against
almost through the ropes.
Yeah, and then falls back into the ring. He like balances on the rope for a second, falls back in. And it's a double KO. It's a double 10 count. And I know what you're thinking. You're saying, Dusty, but a minute ago you set it up. There must be a winner. That is what I did say. However, Howard Finkel, brave man that he is, gets on the microphone and announces to this ravenous crowd that this match is a draw, immediate boos and bullshit chants. And I get it. They I'll explain in a minute, but they're booked into a corner. They need a title match for this show. I don't really get the booking because in a minute it's not really going to make any sense. But it's Russo's brain, so I'm trying to get in there and figure it out.
I think I think the finish was cool though. I think they executed it really well.
The finish was cool, but at the end of this, I'm going to tell you what happens, and you let me know if it still makes any sense. So,
yeah, it was like, wasn't it like, because The Rock snapped Mick Foley in one of the sickest DDTs I've ever seen. And then The Rock was going to hit Mick Foley with the chair, and then what's Mick Foley's finisher called? The DDT finisher?
The double arm DDT.
No, it's not a finisher. It's just a devastating maneuver.
To the head and neck, devastating.
The Rock swings and misses with his chair, puts the chair in the perfect spot, and gets double arm DDT on top of the chair. Like they had some like really cool spots at the end of this match.
And these guys had great chemistry. Like it's a really good feud. But they want to take Mick out on a stretcher, but the Micker don't go out like that. So they take the Rock out, and Mick stands. He's still the champ, but the crowd is not pleased at the end of this match. And then we get a video package for Vince versus Austin, where they recap all the Royal Rumble stuff. Vince got a pin over Austin in the corporate gauntlet match that I tried to look up, but I couldn't figure out the reason for this match other than it was just Vince, to soften Austin up, it would seem like, and to get heat by being the last guy in and getting the pin on the already beat to shit Steve Austin. Good heat for Vince here.
Yeah.
And then they're putting the cage together where we're kind of in between eras because they haven't gone to the more like chain link see-through mesh cage, but we're not big blue cage. They've spray painted the big blue cage black because it's the Attitude Era.
But it's gotta have attitude. Cage. Blue doesn't have attitude.
No.
I was expecting big cage. I was pleasantly surprised because I like the little blue cage.
Yeah, you were thinking chain link, Vince has now graduated his look from the previous month, which was jeans and tank top for the Royal Rumble.
I think it was jeans and no shirt for the Royal Rumble.
No, he had the remember he had like the this guy.
I think he's got this guy for this one.
Oh, is it the opposite?
Yeah, because
yes, yeah, he's in a shirt and jeans this time.
Yeah,
which is like I don't know. It's a weird look. Jeans, no shirt. Even if you're Vince, like I get why you do it because he's fucking juiced to the gills. But like the shirt at least adds some depth, Yeah,
I think it looks better with the tank top.
Yeah. So main event time. We've got Vince and Austin, of course. Who's Vince's favorite wrestler of all time? Dr. Jerry Graham. What's Dr. Jerry Graham? Chicken shit heel. So Vince is going full Memphis heel in this match. He's in the cage, or Steve's in the cage. Vince is stalling to get in the cage. He won't get in the cage. He keeps walking around it, and every time he gets close to it, he backs up. So then Austin tries to climb the cage to get out, and then Vince cuts him off in the ring. Because it's all built to this, like, they can't really have a match, because if Vince goes 50-50 with Steve Austin at this point, you're killing your babyface. But it's the main event, so you can't just have Steve kick his ass in 1 minute. So you have to, it's all smoke and mirrors, to kind of elongate this thing and give the people their money's worth of seeing Vince get his ass beat.
Yeah. So, because you're 100% right. Like, you can't have him go toe-to-toe, but you also have to you can't have this be a 3-minute match where just Steve Austin just beats the dog shit out of him and leaves the cage, which would be funny, but people paid for this. So,
right. And you just screwed him over on their must be a winner last man standing match.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So, Steve goes around and, like, climbs the ring, and Vince is like climbing, like counter climbing the ring and trying to like knock Steve off the thing. I can't even remember how Steve gets Vince out of, like, what happens. What happens? How does it work?
So Austin
I watched that today.
He goes to jump off the cage at one point because, like you said, Vince is like trying to kick him through the bars, and Austin twists his knee.
Oh yeah.
And so the ref comes over and he's checking, and now Vince is now he's pumped up, so he jumps out of the cage to
He's
attack.
got a big grin on his face from walking around to beat up Stone Cold.
And it turns out Austin's a faker. He was faking it to get close to Vince. So he starts beating up Vince, and they go into the crowd. And there's a fan that yells "Stomp his ass" at Steve Austin while he's beating the shit out of Vince in the crowd.
There's fans that are flipping off Vince McMahon like 3 inches from his face.
I was gonna say they go pretty deep into the crowd. I was surprised based on like the heat that this thing has as far as Vince and Austin go. But like they go pretty far into the crowd, and then they come back, but they don't really do anything. It's just Steve punching Vince as they go up, and
it's like he's punching him in the. It's the same thing as the Royal Rumble. He's punching him in the traps as Vince walks away. It's like the Bob Holly situation. Vince is walking away from Stone Cold, and Stone Cold is just punching Vince in the traps as he's walking up.
Austin brings Vince back, and Vince starts climbing the cage to get in the ring, and so Austin climbs up next to him, and what is like the most famous part of this match, and was replayed for years and years, and rightfully so. Austin slams Vince's head off the cage, and Vince flies backwards off the top of the cage through a table. Hellacious bump, because Vince doesn't really even land on the table. He kind of overshoots the table.
He undershoots. He lands on the corner.
The edge. That's right.
Yeah, he lands on the corner, and the thing still flattens, thank God. Yeah. He lands on the corner, and I guarantee that hurt like a son of a bitch.
I believe he broke his tailbone, which would not. I don't doubt. But yeah, that's a hell of a bump for a guy who's never wrestled. At this point, Vince has not had really any matches, let alone this, but he flies. It's definitely not what Michael Cole keeps saying, which is 20 feet. Vince didn't fly 20 feet off the top of this cage through the table.
Michael Cole also said during the Rock thing, when he dumped the steps onto Mankind, he said that the steps weigh 200 to 250 pounds.
Yeah,
The Rock would be the strongest man who ever lived. I believe it, brother. I felt every ounce of that.
You need me to tell you about my blowout hernia again? Yeah, he'd need Mark Henry to get in there and fucking heave those steps up for him.
250 pounds. That's yeah.
So we're not talking 20 feet, but regardless, Vince is busted.
And you can see him like, because he's up there, and I thought, because I didn't know, I might have seen this bump before, but like I didn't know that he did this. Like I wasn't thinking he's gonna like I was thinking this is where they would do this, but it's Vince McMahon, so he's not gonna do this.
Right.
But he kept like letting go with one arm and looking back, and I kept thinking that he was overacting being beat up. Like he's so beat up that he can't hold on to the thing, and he's like almost falling off.
He's giving it a whoa, like a whoa.
Yeah,
like yeah.
And so, but he was spotting it because, to his credit, when Stone Cold hit his head the second time onto the thing, Vince just jumped backwards.
Yeah.
He jumped blind and then turned in the air. Like he did it properly.
Yeah. It's a crazy bump. Like it's like it is the thing that gets remembered out of this match. So they're gonna gurney Vince out and name Austin the winner. It's announced. Match is over. Vince's ass is busted. He can't continue. And Steve Austin, who again, if he wins, gets to go to WrestleMania and wrestle for the WWF Championship, is like, screw that. I came to Memphis to beat Vince's ass, and I have not sufficiently. I haven't got my money's worth of beating Vince's ass, so these people definitely have.
Yeah, he made a few promises, of which a couple were, I'm going to step over his ass beaten body and leave the cage, and that somebody's blood was going to be spilled, and it's not going to be Stone Cold Steve Austin's blood. So like, but it's so funny. The owner of the company is on a gurney.
Yeah.
The match should be over. The one of the employees is rallying up the crowd like, sure, you guys think I should beat his ass? And the crowd is like, yeah. And he flips one of the coolest Stone Cold moments ever. He's like, you want me to beat his ass again? And the crowd says, yeah. And he flips the microphone to the side and just he is over that cage. It was that was one of my favorite moments of Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Vince ever. And he gets up, and they're like hurriedly trying to get Vince out. They're like, oh no, so the rattlesnake's coming. Yeah. And so Steve Austin walks all the way around, follows them to the ramp, and he's just like, the guys by the gurney, he's pulling them back like they're toddlers. He's just pulling them, and they're gone. They're just falling onto the ground. And then he pushes Vince into the steps. And the funniest thing is, what's the referee? I always want to say Mike Shinoda, but that's the guy from fucking Linkin Park.
Yeah, Chioda. Mike Chioda.
Mike Chioda. That's the referee for this one, right? Isn't that him?
Yeah.
So Vince is in a neck brace. He's been thrown again. The owner of the company, a citizen of
the checks, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is on the ground. Stone Cold beats his ass a little bit. slams his head onto the barrier, which is funny. Like I wrote down, it looked like a VIP section got like part of the package was if you pay this much, Stone Cold Steve Austin will smash Vince McMahon's head onto the barrier in front of you.
You'll get Stone Cold sweat on you if you sit here. Yeah.
So Stone Cold throws Vince into the ring. Mike Chioda shuts the cage and starts the bell rings the bell to start the match on a man that was just on a gurney who owns the company.
Yeah, well, Vince set a bad precedent because they let the Hell in the Cell with Mankind go on after he got thrown off the cell. So Mike Chioda, he doesn't want to do who's the guy that stops fights early? He doesn't want to get caught with
there's a bunch of them. Herb Dean's done it a bunch. Stinking Steve Mazzagatti, but he does them too late. There's a lot of problems.
You got to find a sweet spot between Herb Dean and Mazzagatti. And Chioda, if he stops the match too soon, he's going to have to deal with Austin. So like you're really kind of stuck. That's no man's land. That's no man's land.
Boss on one hand, he's between his boss and a psychopath.
Yeah, his boss and a Texas rattlesnake. What do you pick? So Austin beats Vince's ass for a while, and then Austin's gonna leave. He feels now he's sufficiently stomped the mud hole and walked it dry, so he's ready to go. And as he's leaving, he looks back and Vince gives him the bird, and the rattlesnake's not gonna let that stand. He can't abide such disrespect as that. So he comes back in. And he beats Vince's ass more. He throws him into the cage, and Vince gets juice. So the promised blood is now happening. It's not great Vince Crimson Mask. That would come later. This is early Vince blade job, but we still got blood.
Yeah, and I knew it was pretty clear that there was going to be blood there because of the circumstances and stuff. But
yeah.
Vince is in the middle of the ring. He's face down. He's got his hands on his head, and Austin goes up on the turnbuckle and is like raising hell in the corner, like a magician's distraction while the guy does it.
Yeah. And so now he's ready to leave again. And then he turns around, bloody Vince, double bird. God damn it, dude! can't abide it.
I'm trying to find a video of it, but I can't find it while we're sitting here. But it's just so the Vince birds are so funny because he's like crying, and in this one he's crying and he's got blood all over his face and he's giving the double bird.
It's great, and of course, like that's what's going to boil Austin's blood. Is it the fact that Vince is still disrespecting him, even though he's not a physical threat at all. There's not a moment in this match that Vince has the upper hand on Steve, but he just can't let him get away with the double bird. So now Austin's back
I do
again.
that to people, you son of a bitch.
So Austin's back again, and now he hits a Stone Cold Stunner. So now it's really over. Yeah.
There it is.
And and then the camera goes wide, and out of the back corner of the ring, fucking Paul White, the Giant, pops up out of the ring, which looks really cool. It was a cool visual, and he jumps out, and Michael Cole just keeps yelling, "That's Paul White," because they can't call him the Giant, obviously, but nobody knows who Paul White is. That's like when your excitedness at the fact that that's Paul White means nothing because no one's ever heard him called Paul White before this match.
Yeah, but he's got to unless he just says I recognize that guy, but you got to give him a name.
Who's this Giant?
They must not have known he was going to be called the Big Show yet, or like.
Well, he wasn't originally going to be called the Big Show. They were going to call him the Big Nasty. Paul White. They tried out the Big Nasty, and it didn't really work. So Paul White's here. He starts beating Steve's ass, from pillar to post, and Vince is laughing because this is the plan the whole time. And then he picks up Austin to throw him against the cage. And go ahead.
It's funny. That was the plan the whole time. Stone Cold has almost left the ring twice.
Well, he knows he can't. Vince is in his head, dude. He knows he can't.
Vince knew he'd come back. Yeah.
Yeah. He can't pass up the opportunity to whip Vince's ass. Yeah, at the beginning of the match, why not have Paul White come out and just choke the shit out of him?
Yeah.
And
I'll
win.
flip him off. He'll come back. Just wait for the signal.
And then he picks Austin up and he goes to throw him against the side of the cage. Cage door breaks open, which was also really cool. Like they did a good job of working that. And then Steve rides it out of the ring and falls to the floor, as only Steve Austin can do, making that shit look cool.
Yeah.
And it's like they're lucky because that's a tough thing to get. Like if that doesn't go right and Steve doesn't grab the cage, he's just flying out of this cage at 20 miles an hour or whatever.
Or his leg gets caught in it and he just destroys every ligament in his knee. But like,
yeah,
no, it did look really cool. Like, because you're thinking, oh man, how's Stone Cold gonna get out of this one? He's tired. That guy's huge. Like, and you think this is gonna be a devastating thing, and the door the whole wall, basically the wall of the cage swings open. It's great.
It was really creative. It was really good. Cage breaks. Austin falls to the floor, so he wins, and he's just smiling and laughing as he leaves the ring. And Vince is now in the ring crying, trying to be consoled by Paul White as we go off the air. So that is the St. Valentine's Day Massacre. Man, the Wrestling Observer newsletter, unkind to this particular show, if you'll believe it.
I believe it.
Gold Dust versus Blue Dust, -1 star.
Yep.
Bob Holly versus Al Snow, 1 star. Midian versus the Big Boss Man, -1 star. Tag titles, Jeff Jarrett and Owen Hart versus D'Lo and Mark Henry, 1 star. Billy Gunn refereeing Val Venus versus Kid Shamrock, 1.25 stars. The X-Pac and Triple H versus China and Kane gets 2.5 stars. Mick versus The Rock, Last Man Standing, gets 3.75. And Vince versus Austin in the Cage gets 2.75 stars. It's like we said, it's not boring because there's so much shit going on, but it's not a great wrestling show by any stretch. It's saved by the co-main event and the main event, and the fact that like everybody that's on this show is over, even Blue Dust.
That's the thing. Like, it is saved by the main event and the main event and the co-main event, but all the other stuff had stuff going on. They had video packages for even the bullshit matches, and like there was just they thrived on chaos at the time, spectacle.
Right.
I think that was that's probably the word for the Attitude Era. Everything was a spectacle. So like you said, it wasn't boring. Between the last two matches, like I would say The Rock and Mankind was probably the match of the night. But the moments of Stone Cold Steve Austin, when he flips that microphone and climbs back over the ring to beat Vince McMahon's ass. Yeah. That's theater, man. Like that whole match thing was just beautiful. It was beautiful in my opinion.
From an in-ring perspective, it's Mankind versus The Rock, obviously. From a what is pro wrestling and what is the aim,
especially this era
pro
too.
Wrestling, it's Austin versus McMahon. Like, you can give partial credit to The Rock and Mankind. They had a pretty hot feud going, but that 450,000 buys is because people want to see Vince get his ass beat in a cage.
Yeah.
That's what it is, you know. By comparison, really quick, our movie and music game is pretty much the same because the Royal Rumble was only like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So by comparison, I wanted to give you the WCW offering of February of 1999. This is Super Brawl This is Super Brawl 9.
Oh man, this is before they even had Jeff Jarrett. They've just lost all the little guys. Is Jarrett?
No, they still have everybody. This is 99. They don't lose the Radicals.
This is right
till
before
2000.
they leave.
Yeah, this is before the year, and they leave January 2000. So this is February 21st, 1999, from the Cow Palace. This show, if you believe it, has a higher buy rate than, say, Valentine's Day Massacre.
Holy shit.
This show sells 485,000 buys, 15,000 people in attendance. Our matches here.
That means 1 million people bought a wrestling pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Just under, man, but you know what I mean.
What a time.
What a time.
What a time to be live. What a time to have a Mr. Sacco hat, you know?
Yeah.
Booker T defeated the Disco Inferno to open this show.
I'm sure that was 4 stars or more.
By Disco.
Yep.
Chris Jericho defeated Saturn by countout in 11 minutes. WCW. Billy Kidman defeated Chavo Guerrero Jr. for the WCW Cruiserweight title, 8 minutes and 26 seconds. Chris Benoit and Dean Malenko beat Kurt Hennig and Barry Windham in 20 minutes in a World Tag Team title tournament, and then they immediately...
That's a sick matchup.
Yeah, this was a good feud. They immediately... So it was basically a double elimination tournament, and Benoit and Malenko had 1 loss, and Hennig and Barry Windham had 0 losses. So immediately after Benoit and Malenko won that first fall, they immediately went to
wrestle again.
And Kurt Hennig and Barry Windham beat them in 37 seconds to win the tag team titles in like a huge, like pretty good heat moment. The Outsiders of Kevin Nash and Scott Hall defeated Conan and Rey Mysterio in a hair versus mask match. You want to bet what happened there?
Oh, yeah.
And now we got Unmasked Ray.
Yeah.
Coming out of this one.
That might be when they lost Rey Mysterio is what happened there.
Yeah. Scott Steiner defeated Diamond Dallas Page by submission for the World Television title.
Of course he did.
13 minutes and 54 seconds.
DDP's facing the doo-doo again.
Yep. Scott Hall, pulling double duty on this show, defeated Rowdy Piper to win the United States title. I don't know why that happened. Goldberg defeats Bam Bam Bigelow in just a regular singles match in the co-main event in 11 minutes and 39 seconds. And then in the main event, Hollywood Hogan is wrestling Ric Flair. You want to take a guess who takes the pinfall on this one?
Well, considering it's Hollywood Hogan and Ric Flair, I'm thinking the Nature Boy's shoulders are on the mat.
Nature Boy's toes up on this one. WCW World Heavyweight Title singles match, 12 minutes 1 second. You know Hollywood's going over.
Yeah.
I don't even know. Yeah, the NWO still. It's like they just tried to reform it.
That's a fun card, man.
It's going. Yeah, it's going okay. Early 99, they're on the hangover of Goldberg losing the title, so people are still kind of in.
Okay.
But it goes rough pretty quick.
Yeah.
So maybe next week, because next week we're going to do WrestleMania 15 to complete kind of our story arc of this whole era and give a snapshot of Russo booking and Attitude Era booking, because we talk about it a lot, and we, like Andrew said at the beginning of this show, when you're just showing video packages of stuff from the Attitude Era, it looks sick. But when you have to dive in, when you got to dive into the St. Valentine's Day Massacre and watch Blue Dust versus Gold Dust and Midian versus Big Boss Man, it starts to get rough. You start to remember, what the magic was at that time.
Hey, still more fun than Royal Rumble 2026.
Which is a real indictment of Royal Rumble 2026.
Yeah.
Tough all over. But I don't want to give anything away for WrestleMania 15, so we're not going to look at the card. I want you to go in blind. The only thing you do have to know is that it's Austin versus Rock, which is a match we've watched before, but it's evergreen. Austin Rock rules. So that'll be next week. We'll be back. We'll do that, and then we'll get back to some of the other normal ways that we discuss wrestling on this show, but we just decided this would be a fun kind of arc to run with.
Yeah.
Is this early 1999 Attitude Era. So thank you to everybody who listens. Like Andrew said, we're on all the stuff. Follow us wherever you want. Leave comments. Give us some likes. Give us some views. Send it to a friend if you think they'll find wrestling funny. You know, that's what we're trying to do here. And we'll be back again next week, not from the muddy banks of the Mississippi, not tied up in chain link.
Because we'll never say I quit.
Never say I quit.